Hey folks, and welcome to Typology, the show in which we explore the story of you through the lens of the Enneagram. My name is Anthony Skinner, producer of the show. I'm here with host Ian Cron, and we have a very special Typology episode for you today. We're going to share with you one of Ian's really practical yet powerful tools for transformation. Let me begin by asking you a question, Ian. So the book seems to be doing really well. You released this book on December 28th, been about a month or so, a little over a month now. Why don't you tell me about how the book's doing?
Man, I am incredibly grateful that it is doing super well. And it really warms my heart because, you know, in the early days of a book, I actually read some of the reviews because, you know what I mean?
Right.
Well, no, because, you know, when they start to pile up, you it's not healthy, actually, to read reviews too much, too often, too deeply, right? But in the beginning days, you're curious, right? You want to know how people are responding, you know? And I mean, you know, I just saw the other day that the Road Back to You, there's like almost 10,000 Amazon reviews. And I'm like, you know, that's more than I want to read, you know? Now, here's what is really exciting to me. Is that numerous people have remarked that what they appreciate about the book is that it doesn't merely describe Enneagram types or go through how the Enneagram system of personality works. It actually spends most of its time talking about the path of transformation for each of those types.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you about. So you have the Road Back to You, which is a great primer, as you say, to enter into the Enneagram and find out about each type and the numbers. But you move on in the story of you to some real practical transformational tips and tools to help people on their journey.
Yes.
I love that about the story of you. It's taking the Enneagram, which is a great tool, but saying, okay, what are we going to do with the Enneagram now? Not just, okay, now I know my type, now what?
Right.
So I would like to talk about some of the tools that you mentioned in that book, and maybe one in particular, and let's highlight it and help our folks wrap their heads around it.
Sure. Well, you know, this sort of came about in a way that I hadn't expected, right? I have a tool. It's called the New Story Jar.
Okay.
Right. And as you know, in the Story View, I help people understand that these are 9 personality types in the Enneagram, but there are also 9 stories that each of those types subscribe to in childhood that don't serve them in adulthood.
Right.
So the journey of transformation is about rewriting the old narrative of your type into a new narrative that is more aligned with who you are now as an adult. It doesn't mean that I, as a 4, am going to lose my creativity and my particular way of seeing the world. It just means that I am rewriting those parts of the story that are really self-limiting and self-defeating so I can become the highest expression of who I am.
I love just how you laid that out. That was perfect.
Cool. So one of the tools that I came up with for myself, I shared on an Instagram post, and it kind of blew up a little bit, right? Here's what it is. I have what's called the New Story Jar. It's on the island in my kitchen, okay? And I took a piece of paper and I wrote down like single sentences or phrases, and then I cut them out, right? And I put them in a jar. Now, each of those phrases is a message for me as a 4 that helped me to embrace and live into the new story that I want to be a part of for my own life.
Okay.
Right? So, for example, one of the ones I put in my jar is something like, today I will no longer believe that my emotions are the most important thing in my life.
Oh, I love that.
Right?
I love that.
Or it might be, today I'm going to be more of a critical thinker. And I also put some intentions in there.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Like today, things that I intend to do today, right? That might be something like be kind.
Just something you're going to practice that day.
Yes. And then sometimes I'll ask myself remember that question I asked I like to ask, which is, what would you do if you weren't afraid? I have that in the jar.
Ooh, that's good.
And I just pull one of these out in the morning, right? If I'm in an argument with Em, I make her pick one out for herself that day too. Not that I'm controlling, but anyway. But it's a wonderful way for me to start the day, and it's a wonderful way for me to begin chipping away at the old story and giving myself prompts for the new story.
That's beautiful.
It just gets my head going.
I love it.
Keeps me awake to the process of transformation.
Yeah.
Right.
And we need those. I think those daily practices are so important. So I think you have a little bit of a surprise for our listeners today. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. So I am going to be releasing a PDF that on it there will be, for each of the 9 types, 5 different strips that they can cut out, right, to create their own story jar, right, and some spaces for them to write their own. Because, in my jar, I have like 50 or 75 of these things, right? And you can build those up over time, but we're going to give you some to start. So, for example, for an 8, there's one that says, "Today I will not treat vulnerability as a weakness."
Right. That's
right.
Great. Yeah.
And so it's just, these are my intentions for today in my type as I'm trying to craft a new narrative. Right.
Let's go through, you just said the 8. Let's just go through like an example for the 9 and just float through those for a minute.
Yeah, sure. For the 9, one of the ones that we have here is, today I will work to accept that conflict is a part of life.
Love it.
For a 1, here's a great one for 1s, right? Today I will make mistakes and that's okay, right?
Love that.
Then for 2s, one of theirs is, today I will look inward for happiness. And that's a really important one for 2s, because oftentimes they're trying to derive happiness and a sense of self-esteem from others outside of themselves, right?
I love this, and I just want to highlight this because there's real thought put behind these little phrases that you're given for each type. Okay, 3?
Today I will let people see the real me.
Oof, that's good for the 3.
That's a good one for a 3 for sure.
We're moving close to home right now. We're going to 4s.
We're going to 4s. Today I will try not to compare myself to others.
Oof.
Now, Anthony, by the way, I just want you to know that when I actually take the slip of paper and I put it in my pocket and carry it with me everywhere that day.
I was going to say that. I didn't know if you put it back or if you carried with you, but I think that's really powerful. You can just, even when you reach in your pocket, sometimes, because I do some practices and I think, you're in a conversation with someone and you just put your hands, in your pockets and you just feel that piece of paper and it brings back to your attention, oh yeah, that I'm doing this thing today. So that's great. So 5s?
One for the 5s is, today I will not try to be entirely self-sufficient.
What a good word for 5s.
Yeah, indeed.
These are so encouraging.
Yeah, man. 6s.
Yep.
Today I will remind myself that I can handle whatever comes my way.
Oh man, what a blessing for the 6. All right, 7s.
Yeah, so for a 7, it could be, today I will lean into routines. Right?
Wow.
I will accept that life has routine in it, right? And that's just part of it. And I'm going to lean in and not back away and try to find something shiny and shimmery to chase after while in the middle of doing something important, right? And there's a bunch of them for each type.
Yes.
You can get this PDF. You take it. I'm going to repeat the instructions here. You just cut the messages out.
It's got little dotted lines.
You're going to go get a mason jar.
Yeah.
Or something like a mason jar. You're going to put those strips into the mason jar, and every morning you're going to reach in. You can even say a little prayer before you do. You say, hey, okay, God, what do you have for me to work on today?
Love it.
You reach in, you pull one out. And by the way, sometimes I pull one out that I don't like.
Yeah. And what do you do?
I work hard to resist putting it back in
to grab another one.
To grab another one, right? Because something would be like, oh, I already know how to do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then it's so interesting. Later in the day, something will come up. I'll pull it out of my pocket and I go, yeah, this is exactly what I needed today.
Ooh, I love that.
So
tell people, and we'll say this a couple times for you folks, but tell them where they can get this PDF.
So they can go to my website, ianmorgancron.com/jar.
All right.
Okay.
Easy enough.
This is super easy. ianmorgancron.com/jar.
And it's one PDF that has all the messages for all 9 types on it. So
yes,
you'll receive an email and you'll get the PDF and you can just print it off and take your number, cut it up, and you've got your jar.
Yeah, you've got the start of your jar.
The start of your jar.
Right, because it's only, you're only going to get 5 or so of them from the PDF, and it's just a starter kit. And then I'm strongly going to recommend to people, like go through your type. What are the things you struggle with? What are the things you need to work on, right? Write your own.
Yeah.
Just write your own and just keep adding them to the jar. Don't be a perfectionist about it. Just chuck them in there and pull them out. And I guarantee you'll be surprised how God, your higher power, will, might actually just show up and surprise you with the way that it will have application that day.
Yeah. Now, something else really fun we're going to do on Instagram this week. Tell people about that.
Yeah. So every single day, right, I'm going to show people this ritual that I have in the morning just to model it for them. And I think it's going to be really fun for people to see how I, use these slips of paper.
Yeah.
Well, Anthony, here's an idea.
Okay.
What if, in addition to my posting about how I'm using the story jar and what I'm pulling out of it, what if other people were to post on their Instagram accounts how it's going for them, right?
I love it.
Let people reach into their own jars, pull out a slip of paper, tell us what it is, and then that's it. I think that would be really exciting.
Oh, that's a great idea. So you're going to model it for people. They can see on your Instagram. And if you feel so inspired, do the same and post what you pull out on that day from your jar and let us know. It'd be great. I can't wait to see those.
Man, I can't wait either. Because, Anthony, it's like my mantra goes, all transformation is story transformation. I'm really looking forward to being part of this journey with you this week, folks.
Yeah, same. Will you send our folks off with your outro?
Oh, yeah, man. Of course I will. Typology friends, may you have love, may you have joy, may you have peace, may you have healing, may you have rest. Until next time.